Today we're going to find out what's happening with Denison Mayor Greg DiDonato, who's our special guest. Thanks for coming in, Greg. Good morning.
Oh, it's always good to be here.
Glad you got in and didn't get wet or anything.
That's right.
Good. We're starting the last quarter of the year. It's hard to believe that the calendar is telling us that, but here it is, October. And so that means some preparation's been going on and some big projects are ready to go, right?
Yeah, we're patiently waiting. Initially, we were scheduled at the very end of September, but the rain has pushed it back. But we're patiently waiting for our paving. Shelley and Sand got the contract. We have a lot of paving going on this year, about $260,000 worth. And I just want to note, in the 6 years of the Village of Denison, between paving, some sidewalks, curbs, and storm drain improvements, that puts us in the neighborhood of $2 million we've spent in 6 years. And we're a town of 2,700 people. So it's a significant amount of money. Of course, some of those we've gotten grants, some of those we have 0% interest loans, and a lot of it's been cash from our coffers. Even the loans are cash from our coffers. We still got to pay, and they're just 0%. But we're patiently waiting for that. We've prepared for it. We had storm drains in a lot of the alleys that needed to be reset, rebuilt. We also cut back on a lot of the roadways of the alleys, trimmed trees so the tandem trucks and equipment can get in and out. So we're working on that. And at the same time, you got to laugh, we're working on that. We're also, though, getting our order put in for salt to be delivered. So we're prepared for winter. But that's just kind of what you do. And also, right now we'll be preparing a lot of our parks to get things winterized and get ready for winter. But currently we're still using Pee Wee football, still playing, and we still got people using the Thornwood Park shelter. So
you mentioned the paving. A lot of alleys are involved this time, right?
Yeah, we're really excited in the Thornwood Park alleys that are currently already paved, unless they've been paved in the last 10 years. But about every one of them over there is going to be repaved. The Thornwood Park, after this completion, pretty well all alleys are done. And that's our number one complaint. We actually do not get calls about streets. We get calls about alleys. And I can, sit here and probably name you 100 people that if I run into, the first thing out of their mouth is they're going to get my alley paved. And most of them know they're being paved. Yeah. They're just waiting. So hopefully next year we will make another stab. The majority of the alleys in the after we get done, Thornwood Park's good. We did a bunch last year in the north end. South side overall has been recently. There were several done recently within the last 10 to 15 years, so they're not overly bad at all. But we have about another dozen blocks left in the north end, and if we can truly knock that out, we've pretty well done all of our alleys. And we're still doing streets, and our streets generally are in great shape.
Yeah.
If not, they're couple things like right now, as I mentioned to you, if everything goes to plan, we've already got next year knocked out.
Right.
We've secured $165,000 for sidewalk replacement in Thornwood Park, which will mostly address McCook Avenue, McCrae Avenue, and a little bit of Gardner. And again, that's just replacements, looking at bad sections. We will do whole areas if the whole area is deemed majority bad. But a lot of it, there'll be a couple blocks like that where we'll do the whole one end to end, but then we also fill in on a lot of the others. The theory of this program is to make things walkable and just not simply rip everything out if they're not bad. So we have that in place. We have applied to blacktop, grind and redo all downtown. That's from the bridge of Eriksville up to 6th Street, where we're going to do this year 6th to the end. And then we've also submitted for a grant application for putting a new storm drain on Grant Street. It's new down to North 4th and Grant. This would take it from North 4th to Grant to the bridge, Eriksville Corporation line. Probably it's every bit of 70, 80 years old.
Yeah.
So we want to do that. And if we secure those two, then with the American Rescue funds that we receive, we're looking at new lighting for the downtown, new posts that'll look, more historical. We're talking about the tall ones with the arches. We're looking at 13 new ones of those. Will go LED, which will give them that nice, crisp, bright light for the downtown area, and underground wiring.
You talked about when you were here before, renovating the third floor of the city building. That was a big big old
Yep.
storage area for a long time.
Yep.
Not anymore, right?
Nope. It's being used. It's already being used 2 days a week with the youth group up there now. Last year we've had one other youth group has used it as well. Primarily, this is strictly for community, like after school program, youth groups, organizations. We're not doing birthday parties. We're not doing weddings, and we don't charge. I mean, so yes, we have it all done now. It's 100% been painted. Drywall repair, been painted. The one restroom's working up there. We just secured a grant for $6,000 from the Tuscarawas Community Foundation. We have gorgeous maple wood floors up there, tongue and groove floors. And, of course, I'm assuming that's been the original varnish put on. Maybe it's been revarnished, but this will sand the whole over. There's about 6,000 square feet up there. I mean, it's huge. It's the whole size of the city building. And this will sand them all and revarnish. That is half of what we need. I'll also do the window seals because, again, after 100 years old this year, they need to be, the sun's kind of dried them out. So we're going to apply and try to get the rest of it, but if not, the village will put in the rest and make it happen. So with that, we're going to wait till this group gets done. That's a project is going to take place first part of the year in the winter. So that'll be a messy, as you know, when you get into sanding, extremely.
A little dusty.
Well, we have 12 feet high ceilings, all those lights. Going to be a lot of wiping down, dusting down when the project's over with, but that will really make the third floor look just absolutely beautiful.
Well, you showed me pictures. It looks great now, but then with that's going to be fantastic. Speaking of new
and again, and I just want to
note,
note, again, with that 6,000, over 27,000 has been donated for that. That's virtually been done with all donated money and donated labor. We paid some, yes, to do some of the work, but all the painting was done in the winter when we had no snow by our street department. Myself, I've got several hours in the trimming, and some other people have helped, as well as there have been some donations on the drywall as well.
Very good. What's the status of the updated fire station? I know it's being used. Almost done, almost paid for. Where we at?
Where we're at is, yes, we are up and running and all state approved. Probably for 2 months, it's been pretty well completed. Anybody drove by, we've had nothing but gorgeous, comments about how gorgeous the building turned out in the end. I mean, it fits the historic Center Street area. It looks great with the city building. So that's gone well. It's really made the environment of being able to service. As you know, we have the contracts for Midvale, Mill, and Union as far as the fire. As you know, the ambience runs out of there. We have a private-public partnership with Smith Ambience, and that has gone well. Now we've already hit a year and a half of doing the ambience, and we all this year doing the additional firework. And but yeah, that's gone good. We've raised about $246,000. I mean, bills are all paid. We have about 19,000 more committed. Once that comes in, we know the 4,000 is. We believe the other 15. And we're waiting for that all. And once that happens, that project will have been 100% covered with donated money. So when you drive by that, it's been paid for in full by donated money. As of right now, though, it's been paid for, and there is no loan. I mean, no matter how you look at it, we owe nothing on it.
And it's $250,000.
Yes, and we did it during the pandemic. We started this in late July of last year, and right now it's October. So we did it during the pandemic. We raised the money. We were blessed. We had some significant donations get us gone by some local foundations, the Rosenberry, the Kimball Foundation, and the Rees Foundation, and then we had a lot of sponsors. We sold the doors. We had building sponsors of, mostly some civic groups, mostly businesses, and some individuals, and then we had a lot of donations of $5, $10, $15, $20. It was really a great project, and it's really impressive when a community comes together and circles around and rally. Most people just find it more easier to put a 2 mil levy on the ballot and raise taxes for so many years to pay for it. We showed how, I guess, if you put an idea together or drawing together and you sell it to the public and you go out and you work and put a little bit of effort, this was a case that nobody had to raise any taxes, and we didn't even have to use tax dollars we currently use to operate to build this.
No taxes and no interest. That's both great.
Right.
So It looks like we're going to maintain the same mayor and same council for next year.
We have this year. I had to file to run to finish a term. As you remember, our mayor became ill.
Correct.
So since it was so early on, and then we had 2 council positions open, and the 2 that currently hold the position filed to run again. And so as of right now, it will be the same. This is kind of one of those things that's a tragic. If there's a hot issue in town, of course, everybody says, wait till the next election, Well, the problem is, wait till the next election, very few people stick their neck out and run. I laugh when I hear that people say stuff like that. I never make that threat, not to be mean, but it's just an empty threat. I've heard,
Right.
people today, and in the reason I bring this up, it's a concern. Because when people don't step forward, whether it's to run for school board, township trustees, or runs for council, or runs for mayor, where really are our communities going to go? Where is our society really going to go? And who ends up going to be the ones run them? Because sometimes some people run for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
It's not for the overall
Single
good
issues,
of the communities, right? And but it is what it is. I hope there's a day that it changes. But, you look right now, there are many unopposed races in Tuscarawas County. There are also in the villages, many of them, they are vacant, which means the current council will get to pick who fills those seats, the first of the year. That's just a sad day when we have numerous villages have vacant, nobody ran at all. So they'll have to be filled at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Well, hey, leaders, step up. And Dennison, in good hands. Sounds like good things are happening. So, great. We'll see you pretty soon then.
Okay. We appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity to be
here. All
here.
right. Thanks a lot. Greg DiDonato, the mayor of Dennison, here this morning on our 8:30 High Beam here on the B-Team Morning Show.